Today we'll be checking out the plugin that's the Magento 2 Multi-Step Vendor Signup plugin. Now, as we know that in the default Magento, there are regular single page forms for registration, but these days multi-step registration forms are more successful than that regular large forms. Now, using the Magento 2 multi-step vendor sign-up module, the admin can create the multi-step registration form for the sellers. Further, this will make it easier for the marketplace sellers to fill up the large registration forms by breaking them into multiple sections. The sellers just follow these steps, fill in the details, and get registered. The module provides stepwise navigation for filling in the information, and also the admin can create customizable vendor registration forms for the marketplace by adding custom attributes to these multiple steps. Now, the custom attributes that can be added do support multiple input types like text, number, radio button, drop down, multi-select, image upload, file upload, etc. Also, kindly note that this particular plugin is an add-on to the Webkul's multi-vendor marketplace plugin. So you'll have to have that first, and then you can make use of this particular plugin. That's the Magento 2 multi-step vendor sign-up plugin. So before we proceed further with the workflow of this particular plugin at the storefront, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then kindly do give it a thumbs up. So on the storefront, the marketplace vendors can register themselves by tapping on the vendor registration link in the footer of the website. So if we tap on that, on the vendor registration link, we'll see this particular multi-step vendor sign up section having different steps like the personal info, account info, shop info, on the social web, payment info, additional info, address info. Now you can create customized steps as well in the admin backend panel by creating groups. So the groups are basically the steps that you are right now viewing here on this particular section here, and you can also create the what we say as the custom attributes, and you can add those to these multiple steps as required. So we have already added one additional info section wherein we have added a GST and VAT section there. That's a customizable one, so I'll just show you that in a while from now how we can do that. So first of all, let's see how the marketplace vendors would be able to register themselves using this new multi-step vendor sign up section. So first of all, we need to enter the name and the what we say as the last name of the seller. Then we have to tap on the proceed button. You can see the first one is done. We are on the account info section. Here we need to enter the email address. So I'll be entering the email address. For now, I'll enter the email address. Just give me a second for that. And after entering the email address, I'll be entering the password for my account. I'll be confirming the same. Then I'll be tapping on the proceed button. Here I'll be entering the shop name. We'll just check whether it's available or not. Yes, that's available. We'll tap on the proceed button. Now here we can enter the social network, what we say as the names or the usernames for our vendor account. So for now, if I tap here on the proceed button, you can see some of them are required ones. So I'll enter test shop, and I'll set it for the Google Plus as well. For now, I'll just enter these two. Let's tap on the proceed button. Now we are on the payment info section. So HSBC Bank, and I can enter the account number if I want for the admin to make use of that. Let's tap on the proceed button. So this is a step that I've created from the backend by creating a new group, and then I've added the custom attributes there. As you can see, a VAT number and a GST number. So for the time being, I'll be entering a demo VAT number and a GST number. So GST is for the Indian vendors there, and then we'll be tapping on the proceed button. Lastly, we have the address info. Here we need to enter the address info of the vendor. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just select the address of the seller there. So I'll set it as test shop company for the time being, and then I'll be tapping here on the done button. So that's how this multi-step vendor registration works. You can add custom steps within these default steps as well. The default steps that are there, you cannot delete them, but the ones that you add up within them, you can delete them, you can edit them. So I'll just show you that as well in a moment from now. So you can see that the account has been created, and to access the account we can tap here on the click here to access your account. Now if you have entered any of the custom attribute values there for any step, those would be visible under your seller profile. So if I go to the seller profile page of the seller right now, here you can see the Facebook ID that I had entered, test shop, and if I scroll down a bit, we can see the shop URL, the test shop URL that we had set. Here's the payment info, and if I scroll down, here's the additional information, the custom attributes that we had set for a particular step there, and here's the VAT number and the GST number for the same. Now the same would be visible to the customers at the storefront as well if they are within the seller's profile. So if I go ahead and if I tap on the view profile button here, so here you can see the vendor's profile page is there. So under the about us, you can see the VAT number and the GST number is also visible here to the customers. This is the custom attribute for the step that we had added there. So that's how this particular thing works, and let's sign out of the marketplace vendors account now. And to access the vendor registration or the multi-step registration for the vendors, we have to tap here on the vendor registration link under the footer section there, and that would bring up this particular section once again. Now coming to the backend panel, let's go to the backend panel and let's see the different configurations that are there for these steps, and how we can add the custom attributes as well within any of these steps there. So how we can create the groups and the different attributes there, and how we can add those attributes to these steps as well. So for that, let's hop on to the admin backend panel now. So let me log into the admin backend panel by entering the username, password, and tapping on the sign in button. After login, I'll have to navigate to marketplace management, and under that I'll have to go to the vendor registration manager. Here we have the vendor registration group. The group are the steps basically, and the vendor registration attribute. So I'll just open them up in two different windows. So let's first go to the vendor registration group. So let's go to the groups. So here we'll find a complete list of groups or the steps that we have created. So here we have the personal info, account info, shop info, address info, on the social web, payment info, and the additional info. Now the same groups are visible at the storefront, as you can see at the top, within which we had different values that needed to be filled up. Let's go back. So from here you can basically delete any of the created ones. You can change the group status as enable or disable. Now you cannot delete the default ones that have been already created there, but the ones that you'll create, you can delete them up. To add a new group, you'll have to tap here on the add new group button. That will bring up the section to add a new group. So I'll just show you how to add a new group. So let's add a test step. Let's set the sort order as 1. Let's make it as enabled, and let's save the group there. So we have saved the group. Now you'll see the test step is here just after the personal info, because we had set the sort order for this as 1. So it's just after the default one, that's the personal info. So let's get back. So that was how we can create the steps. You can add the steps as you want. You can set the sort order for them. Coming to the attributes, here are the two attributes, the VAT number and the GST number that we saw at the storefront under the additional info section here. So how we can assign these? So first of all, you'll find the complete list of the attributes that you have created here. From the drop down, you can delete any of them. You can manage the display fields, whether to display on the seller's profile or not, hide them from the seller's profile. We were able to see them on the seller's profile because we had enabled or we had set it as display on seller's profile. We can set the attribute status as enabled or disabled. We can assign any of these to any of the groups or any of these steps there. For example, I have the GST number and the VAT number, and from the drop down, if I go ahead and assign it to the personal info, for example, the very first step, and I set it as OK, and then I go to the storefront and I refresh this page once, you'll see that under the personal info right now, initially we had only the first name and the last name, but now I have the VAT number and the GST number. So that's how you can assign any of the created attributes to any of these steps there. You can create multiple attributes. So to add a new attribute, you'll have to just tap here on the add attribute button. Just tap on that, and that will bring up the section to create a new attribute. For example, let's create a test attribute. Let's set the code as test. Let's choose the front end as drop down. We'll choose the values as required. Input field sort order as 1. Let's add the options. Let's set it as for example male and female for the time being, and let's save the attribute. You can also manage the labels for different store views if you have there. Now after I've created this attribute, here's the attribute, the test attribute. I can assign it to any of the groups there. So here you can see that we have the test step as well that we had added. Now if I go back here and first of all let me assign this to the personal info, the very first one that we have. So I've assigned this particular attribute that I've created to the group or the step, that's the personal info. So I'll go here and I'll just refresh it up, and you can see that the test attribute is visible here. That's the male and the female, that the values I set for the demo purposes there. So that's how this works. And now right now you can also see the test step that I had created. It is visible here. So if I go ahead and enter a few details here, enter some value here, you can also set the validation of these fields as well as required from the backend there. Now if I go to the test step, I had just assigned the same attribute, that's the test attribute, to this test one. Let's assign these two as well to the test step. Let's tap OK. So right now I have only the test attribute that we had created for the test step. The test step was the test was the group or the step that I had created, and I had assigned the custom attribute that I had created to this one. Now let's refresh the page, and after refreshing, let's fill in the details here. So here now you can see that on this particular step right now we have the VAT number and the GST number as well. So that's how you can very easily what we say as create the vendor registration groups or the steps, create the vendor registration attributes, assign those attributes to the vendor registration group as required, as per your own requirement there. So yes, that was much about the Magento 2 multi-vendor multi-step registration plugin, and I hope it helped you out in understanding the workflow of the same. If you still have any questions, queries, suggestions or requirements, then kindly do reach back to us at support@webkul.com. You can also raise a ticket at webkul.qvdesk.com. Thanks for reaching out to us and checking out our videos as well. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video, and have a great day ahead.